Rightio. There's our dough. It's rested now for about an hour and a half. It's starting to warm up a bit outside though, so it does take a little bit less time, which is good. So let's just take the our shower cap off and have a look. And you can see it's got that little dome on the top. So up to now, it's been fairly stress-free, no problem at all really. And all we're going to do is we're going to tip it out. So the dough we've made, I forgot to mention earlier on actually, because we put eggs and butter and stuff on, stuff in there, milk, eggs, butter, what have you. It's actually an enriched dough, so that's why we put that a little bit more yeast in there with all the different ingredients. So it is an enriched dough, just so you know the difference between like a normal dough. Enriched dough has the like I say, the heavy ingredients, the eggs, the butter, etc. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to divide this and I'm going to work out how many bits we want, how many buns. But to do that, we're going to wait. So I'm going to get my glass bowl. Now I've just tipped it out. I tell you what I'll do is I'll just bring that together as a bit of a ball first. So I've got the oil, which was in the base of the bowl. I said it was lightly oiled even. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use that oil to my advantage there. I've put it kind of on the outside, just to put back in the bowl. So what it's going to do is easily go in and easily fall back out for me. So let me get it on the right units. I've got it to something that I shouldn't have it on. Right, so it's 1,186 grams. So how many buns do we want? I'm thinking of 8 to 10. I tell you what, let's just go with 10. It'll be easy to do because I'll just divide it by 10, so it's 118 grams per bun. So that's easy enough. So I normally, if it's divided by 12, or I ask Alexa. So we're going to go 118 grams and we're going to make 10 buns. So let's zero that. So all we're going to do, you can do it in different ways if you want to. So we've kind of pressed it out. It's degassed. It's dropped back down. And what we're going to do is zero that. And I'm just going to take a little bit off just to see how much that is and give it away. See what we're at. 122. That's not too bad. 123. So we just snip a bit off till we get 118. 119. Do you know what? It's going to be a little bit of a nightmare getting it precise with this because it's got fruit in. So I might like chop a bit of fruit off. 118. So that's good. All I'm going to do is just make it into a rough ball with my hands there while I can. Because sometimes, while you see if there's a bit of oil, still residual oil kicking around there, you can use that to your advantage a little bit because it's not sticking in your hands. We'll come on to them little tips a bit later, but I try to tell people we're not adding any flour, but one of the things you can do is help yourself out with a tiny bit of oil on your hands, and what that does is it just stops it sticking and allows you just to get a rough ball going there. But yeah, so you've got to kind of use things to your advantage, and like I say, that's too much on there. I'm doing 10, so I've got 120 there. That'll be too little, you know. I'm only keeping your ear doing this because it is laborious. It's not laborious really. It's a bit time consuming, but I like things to be, you might think, well, you're being a bit pedantic, 118 grams, just do rough 10 rough balls. Well, do you know what I can do? But if you want it to look nice, then weigh them out. Because there's something about uniformity in baking that is appealing. When you get things, I know, don't get me wrong, you know, when you talk about rustic, things looking homemade, which is good, which is, you know, that's what you want. However, it doesn't mean to say just because it's homemade you don't put love into it. And everything I do, I kind of think, let's just make it the best I can. I'm doing it at home, which is fine, but it doesn't mean to say because it's homemade it doesn't have any love in it, because it should do. It should have more. In fact, there should be more love in anything homemade than anything you can buy, because the machines don't put much love into it. So yeah, we just do the best we can. So there's 5, we're getting there. And strategically, by doing 100, doing 10, it was easy to work out maths wise. There was a bit of thing there, you know. There was a bit of something in there. I just thought, you know what, let's make it look as though I know what I'm doing. You know, 118 grams. They think he's clever, that lad. Not really. There we go. So here we go. It's getting a little bit tacky now, which is fine. Just we'll get the best we can. And like I say, whatever problems I encounter along the way, no doubt you'll encounter that plus more, and vice versa. But yeah, the reason I'm kind of doing this is like I say, measuring each one out, just for the sake of you kind of get the grasp of what I'm doing. And you know, you might think, oh, he didn't look like he was doing that on there, but you know, I have as many problems doing things like this as everybody else. It's how you solve the problem is the key. So, and when you do it enough times, this you start to get a bit of a feel for, right, I want about this much. And then sometimes you'll see I have like a little bit kicking there, a bit kicking around, which is just for adding a little bit to the top. So I'm getting there now. You know, if I'm a little bit short, just like having a little scrape of something there, which is good. So that'll be about right there. 119, which if I take that off, it's still 119. Oh well, that'll do. Because you'll say these are like 118.5, I think it would have been. So let's see what I've got there. 127. Oh well. Yeah, between all of them, there must have been just a little bit. Let's just get somewhere right. 118. That can't be right. That can't be right. That's not 27 grams. 120. Tell you what, just for the sake of continuity, I can add them bits to it, or I can just leave that little bit to the edge. You can, if you want. You can just break a little bit off and put that in there. It's absolutely fine. I'm not going to. Let's put that in there. So, like, let me get the oil, and I'll show you what I'll do. So, what I'm going to try to do, so I've got myself a tray here, and I don't know whether these are going to fit. So I'm just going to give it a light dusting. Now, I'm not expecting the buns to, or I'm not trying to get them all to stick together as like a group of them. I'm going to try to make them individual. However, that might be easier said than done. So what I may need to do is kind of lift them off, but the may join, but I'm not trying to achieve that. So what I'm going to do, I tell you, before I do that, I'm going to try one first. So I'm going to try to create a ball. So the way I'm doing it, I'm going to put my hand like a cup around it, like a claw, like that, over the top. And I'm just going to go to the right, round like that. And I'm going to press down slightly. And as I'm doing it, it just forms itself into a nice little ball. And I didn't need any oil. So I tell you what I'm going to do. One by one, I'm going to put these on the tray. Now, what I'm going to have to try to work out is how many I'm going to be able to fit on there. So I might need to space them out, and maybe it's like that. So there's one in the middle, one that side. So we'll see how we go. Let's just see how we go. Let's get there. So the next one. There we go. Nice little ball. So I was going to go, maybe try to go 3. I don't know whether they'll work, you know. Tell you what, let's try it this way. See how we get. See how we crack on. See, I've got a bit of I have got a bit of flour there, but let's see how we go with that. Because what I'm going to need to do once these are on here, I need to press them down slightly. Because my recollection is they are quite, you know, they're not fully domed. They are a little bit soft, a little bit flattened. So that's all right. If they do stick a little bit, it's fine. Now that's getting a bit tacky. That. So all I'm going to do is literally just a couple of drops of oil on my hand. That one as well, over the top. I tell you what, I'm just gonna, it's where it's stuck to the top, that'll kind of stick there, so I don't want that. So I've scraped that away. So what I'm kind of saying is, because that was sticking, it's left a bit of residue on it. So if you pull that away and start with a clean surface and do it again, then that'll be fine, which it is. So there's another one. Might need to manoeuvre them slightly about, but let's see where we go. It's all right. It's a bit of an odd feeling. I've said to people before doing this, a bit of an odd feeling, because what it feels like when you go around with your hand like that as a claw, it feels like the door's going in the opposite direction. So it's sometimes, you know, when you're doing you're tapping your head and rubbing your tummy, it's a bit of an odd sensation. But there we go. There we go. Let's get the next one on there. So we're getting there. I can hear the garage door going. I think that's my little dog and my daughter coming in. She's just finished work. Bless her, little Chloe. Just finished work, so she's taking my little Daisy out, which is good. My little baby. So we're doing all right there. I think, you know, we might have to just adjust a touch here, because I think we're going to be slightly struggling for space, because it's going to look as though 9 can go in here, not 10. So we might have to just adjust things. So how we're going to do that? Maybe if that goes there, it's not going to be quite as even as I wanted it, but it's just the way it goes. I should have had the forethought to look at what the patterns would look like, but I didn't, which is the way it is. That's sticking a little touch. So maybe it's what I should have done actually, is just done 9, shouldn't I? But there we are, we've got 10. So they're not quite as uniform as I'd want them to look on the tray, but it's all right, it's fine. So now I've still got tacky hands. So all we're going to do now is we're just going to press slightly on each one, just to squash it down a touch, because we want that, you know, that kind of shallower bun, shallower shape. That's sticking that, so we get a bit more oil in my hand there, just a touch of there, just so it doesn't stick. I could use flour. I don't want to use flour though. I just want to stick with the oil on this, I think. And let's just, if we can, there they are, coming in. Here's my little Daisy. Here's my daughter. Yeah, she's not in a good mood today. Been working hard. Typical, innit? Typical, what they're like, I don't know. So yeah, do you know what? I'm not going to faff about with them too much more. They may join a little bit, which is, it's fine. I can work on technique of spacing them out a bit better next time. But for the time being, I'm sort of happy with that. Now I'm going to just cover those with a bit of cling film, and they're going to sit there for about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, and they're going to puff up. And this is the stage that we do actually call proving. This is the proving stage. Because they've got oil on the top, I don't need any flour. When I come to pull that off, it shouldn't stick. So that's it. That's looking all right there. So they're going to prove now, half an hour, 3/4 of an hour. They're probably going to double in size, and I think they are probably going to touch when I bake them, but it's just the way it is. I'm happy with that. Like I say, I can work on that. But if we get the bread right first, that's fine. I can think about the aesthetics later. Get that looking better, or even bake on 2 trays. It's not really a problem. So there we go. I say it's a bit of a virgin voyage, this one, for me today. So we can just cross our fingers and hope, can't we? So there we go. I'll see you when these are ready to go in the oven. So bye for now. Watch what you're doing. See you soon.